Terrible problem began to appear and brought about unfortunate events that disrupted my work and forcing me to close the studio and to place all my paintings and decades work into various storage. This happened abruptly and at a crucial time in my career when I was so involved, doing so many things, getting to meet so many people, known to quite a few people around in the art world who were coming regularly actually. And I was holding exhibition, performance. When this downturn of events came about and my studio was seized and my work had to be stored somewhere, I recall spending 3, 4, 5 weeks maybe packing and loading. The trucks would come every day and would load all day. Some of the works I was able to tuck safely somewhere, someone I know, family or something. But I took with me and tried to save the materials, paint, the brushes, and especially rolls after rolls of canvases. And I thought this I would not put in this, I have to carry them with me. And there were a few unfinished work which I did on the war series. For a while I did some work in different locations here in New York, several different places. Then I went south, immersing myself into work. It didn't matter. When in 1975 the Lebanese Civil War broke out, I went into friends. Immediately I started working on a war in Lebanon was raging with devastation, complete madness, causing terrible destruction and human suffering. And, I lost contact with my family. My mother was living there. You know, only a short while ago I was working on the Vietnam War and now here with the Lebanon War. So it was quite natural that I merged the two and begun the Split of Life series. It's a split world, it's a divided world, it's based on wars and the forces of division, north, south, east, west and so on. This series became a long-running series through the 80s and 90s. And the formulated composition and organization of the layout emphasized the divisional aspects of the forces at play in the splitting and dividing countries, people, north, south, east, west, and across races, religion, through endless wars and chaotic events, causing terrible toll of death, horror, devastation, destruction, misery, and human suffering. The Split of Life series comprises almost 100 large-scale works of mural-sized painting dealing with humanity and issues of war, on Vietnam, on Lebanon, on Hiroshima, on Nagasaki, on the Holocaust, on South Africa, Salvador, etc., as well as historical subjects that were incorporated and had related themes, such as in the America series, America 500 Years, Cruelty and Glory. And during that time in New York, during the early 70s, the exhibitions, the open studio were done very frequently, almost every 2 or 3 months over a period of 4 or 5 years, were continuous series of exhibitions. And they included talk, conferences, became like a gathering in which various people participated, poets, other artists, writers, peace activists, and musicians. There were so many performances that included a lot of jazz playing music. I was very fond of plays and I used to enjoy going to jazz clubs in New York. Among the various clubs I went to in New York was the Village Vanguard in Greenwich Village. I think it's on 7th Avenue, on 11th. It was run by its owner, Max Gordon. I remember him very well. He was very friendly, very frail. He would greet his customers, he would sit and talk with them for a while. It was really quite a place. The Vanguard had some of the best known jazz players. For a period of time I went on regular basis and saw Thelonious Monk and his quartet with bass, drum and saxophone. I got to know Charlie Rouse, who was the saxophonist. On different occasions he came to my studio, attended some exhibition, and some performance he would play his saxophone, a great saxophone, a regular member of the quartet. He was a very close friend of Thelonious Monk. Listening to their jazz music was a thrilling experience. Whether particular compositions that Monk composed, or improvisation. There's a lot of improvisation. The playing was always remarkable in its radical approach of dramatic use of high and low key with percussive blues. In appearance, Thelonious Monk would wear very distinct suits. A lot of time he had dark glasses and always different hat of wide-ranging styles. Though rarely he would talk, really very rarely, but he would listen and very, very friendly. People could really, I went to him many times, talked and made some drawing like this of him and gave it to him, and he was so happy and so nice. His looks and expressions communicated with everyone. He played, the way he played piano very aggressively. Then suddenly, he would stop, and he would stand, and he would walk, and then he would go off the stage for a few minutes, and he comes back and goes directly on the piano and starts sometimes something new, and a completely new tune, new composition, or just improvise, which incredibly everyone in the quartet would merge with complete harmony, as if they rehearsed this thing. I knew, I could tell, it was not. And a number of concerts that were held by Monk and Charlie Rouse, who played in different clubs, and different musicians like Art Blakey, Dizzy Gillespie and others. Also, I attended different clubs, Harlem a lot and elsewhere. At that time, I started doing paintings, a series of painting on jazz and musician. And toward the end of the 70s, when I went on a road trip and took my work through the South, and ended up in New Orleans for a while, where I did a large series on jazz. The jazz series, a lot of them were done in New York and some in New Orleans, and sometimes early in the 80s I exhibited some of the works in Atlanta. The jazz series, one that was shown in Atlanta, or most of those that I did in New Orleans, tend to weigh toward sensual and erotic imageries, which somehow they fitted with the Walpurgis Night images of my past series, which was done sometime around 76, 79, and I think mostly between 76 and 79. They carried pretty much the same theme in terms of color, in terms of expression, in terms of between jazz and the erotic imagery of Walpurgis Night.